What's up everyone, my name is Josh and welcome back to Josh Unbox. This is the Daily Grind, a video series in which I talk about particular sports card plays, particular news, strategies, tips, anything that comes to my mind that relates to sports cards that I want to talk about. And today I'm going to bring you guys a basketball card play that I found very interesting. This is something that I've been watching for like 3 weeks just to see where it goes because I found it very undervalued and I really wanted to see where these PWCC auctions would end at tonight. And they just recently ended, so I'm gonna, what I found out was pretty interesting. And the card I'm talking about is the 1992 Upper Deck Shaquille O'Neal rookie card, in particular the PSA 9. Now, this card has two versions. It has the trade version, which on the top says trade card, and it has the regular version, which is the #1 draft pick. Now, the difference between the two is that the trade card is labeled as 1B and was only available through a trade redemption that was found in Series 1 or low series boxes. And the #1 card with the #1 draft pick was found in the high series or the Series 2 set. The reason being was because when Shaq came into the league, he had an exclusive deal with Classic to produce some of his earlier basketball cards. So the NBA licensed sets couldn't really produce his rookie cards quite yet. So they had a bunch of redemptions in there. But the more sought after one is that 1992 Upper Deck #1. And it was short printed too on the high series. And I remember as a kid trying to get this card and I was never able to pull it because it was always so damn hard. But we're gonna go ahead and look at the data, and I'm also gonna compare it to the Topps Gold. And you'll be surprised at what you see. So we're gonna go ahead and jump into the data and we're gonna see the differences between the two. So first off, I have here, this is the Shaquille O'Neal, this is the Upper Deck PSA 10. You can see here that the current value of this card shows up to around $2,700. If you go to the sold data, the last time it sold was for $2,700 and before the end of the year. And you can see the previous sales here, all hovering around between 20-25 around on average or so. So that's that, and it has a pop count of 310. And then with the PSA 9, you'll see here that the current value is at $148. But recently it's being sold for like around $200. If you go to the previous sales here, you can see these are the ones that it was going for on average. So what a huge difference, right? I mean, the pop count is high when compared to the 10, but the fact that this is 10 times the difference or more than the PSA 10 is quite crazy. I also pulled up the Topps Gold just for comparison's sake. This is the PSA 10, and you can see here this is going for like around $1,900, probably $2,000 or so. But this is the last sale, $1,900 most recently. And then this card actually has a higher pop count of 448 when compared to the Upper Deck. And that could explain why the Upper Deck goes for so much when compared to the Topps card. But then we also looked at the PSA 9 Topps Gold, and it's going for more than the PSA 9 Upper Deck. So this doesn't really make too much sense to me. The last sold was $300 on this card on an auction. So this, yes, may be in more demand versus this card, but it doesn't change the fact that this discrepancy is huge. When you look at this discrepancy, it's a little smaller, but this is just too big right here. A couple of reasons why Topps, when it comes to the older cards, is king, right? We follow it with Topps Flagship Baseball. The Topps Chrome helps give it some validity as well, because a lot of times the Topps Chrome version mimics the Topps base version. You got the big rookie cards of Steph Curry, James Harden. As the Topps, you got that Kevin Durant Topps rookie that's always hot. You got LeBron James Topps, Kobe Topps. All the Topps cards are more in demand, and it's because of longevity. Upper Deck, barely starting, I believe, in 1991. But this card was a very popular card growing up. I remember, like I said, I've been trying to pull this card before, but I never had the chance to. But it's interesting to see this. And if you see this chart here, that compared to the Topps, and you'll see this craziness here. So this Topps card was sitting at around a little more than $1,000, and then sees this huge spike up in August when everything was blowing up. It went 3x from here to here almost, and then we see the drop off, right? At this point here, it went for way more than the than the Upper Deck at its peak. See that? And then, but here's the thing about the Upper Deck card. It fell, but yet it still sustains its value. You know, that's the crazy thing about this. And then when you look at the 9, it had the same jump too. Back here, went up for $600. As high as $600. And then the Upper Deck PSA 9 had the jump up here. But, you know, like I said, this card is just severely undervalued versus the 10. And, you know, like I said, there's a couple of reasons why with the Upper Deck cards, especially this one, it's a black border. You know, there's condition issues all around, you know, corners, edges, scratches, all of it, you know, chipping. It can run into a lot of problems, which is why it's very hard to find it in very good condition. And then the Topps had centering issues a lot of the time, so it's always hard to find a well-centered one. And that's probably why you see the discrepancy between the two. But a 10x difference is just so much. I feel that. And the 9 is nothing to scoff at. The 9 is actually a very respectable card. I mean, there's maybe a few flaws, and sometimes the difference between a 9 and a 10 is very, very minimal. I feel that this PSA 9 is very undervalued. I'm gonna show you right now the recent auctions that happened with PWCC. And these ones just ended all on January 17th, which would be tonight, the night I'm recording this. You see here 109, 182, 200, 246, 198, 182, 277. It's just crazy. I mean, if you can get this card for less than $200, I think that's a steal. Even less than $250, still a steal. I feel that there's a lot of room for growth for the Shaquille O'Neal rookie card. As a matter of fact, all Shaquille O'Neal rookie cards I feel are very undervalued. The NBA Hoops, the Skybox, the Fleer Ultra, the Stadium Club. You know, they all are at reasonable prices, sometimes even less than $300 for a PSA 10. For one of the best basketball players in the history of the NBA, the most dominant big man in the late 90s, early 2000s, no one can stop him. Teams were trying to draft guys, trade for guys that can stop Shaquille O'Neal, but no one could. 4 championships to his name. I mean, there's a lot of things to like about Shaquille O'Neal. He's such a great player. And he has a great, you know, he has charisma, he's funny, he has everything that you would like about a person. You know, and it's criminal that his cards are just as undervalued as they are. I mean, if you think about Shaquille O'Neal's rookie year, 3 cards will come to mind. The Beam Team from Stadium Club, Topps Gold, and then this Upper Deck card. Everything else is kind of on the wayside, which is why I feel a lot of those cards are undervalued. But in particular today, I'm basically just talking about this PSA 9 Upper Deck, how I feel that this card is really undervalued. That's about it. Shaquille O'Neal PSA 9. If you get less for $250, I think you're good. If you guys enjoyed this content, hit the like button, right? I enjoy doing these things. If you haven't subscribed yet, go ahead and consider subscribing. You know, these are just thoughts in my head that I like to discuss. You know, when I'm looking at a card and I see some interesting data, I like to talk about it. It doesn't matter if 5 people are watching this or if 1,000 people are watching this. Value is value, content is content, and I just love making content. I do this on a daily basis because there's just thousands of plays, thousands of ideas, thousands of things to talk about. And I hope you guys do find some value in this. And like I said, if you haven't yet, go ahead and consider subscribing. And with that being said, my name is Josh, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Later.